Hey guys, it's Britt. Tonight I wanted to jump on and talk to you for a few minutes about the anti-communities, especially on YouTube. I had a few thoughts, so if you're interested, please keep watching. Alright, you guys, so before we get into it, I obviously want to tell you guys how I sort of discovered the anti-communities on YouTube. When I first started watching YouTube, it was primarily beauty content. There were a couple of other lifestyle type channels that I would subscribe to, but I didn't follow any drama channels, any commentary, any anti-MLM, none of the stuff that I've been exposed to in the last couple of years. The first time that I heard the term anti used on YouTube, it was actually regarding anti-MLM. And I discovered that there was a whole community out there of people who had at one point in time been part of an MLM, and that's why they were anti. Or it might have been someone who had a family member that was negatively affected by being in an MLM, and that's why they were anti-MLM. The third type of person that I saw in this community is just someone like me who wasn't ever actively part of an MLM, but you realize the predatory nature of the business, that it's a terrible business model. They take advantage of people and wreck your entire net worth many times. So I got familiar with anti-MLM, and then I ventured into my Without a Crystal Ball video. And I had talked about MLM before I knew who Katie Joy was. So I did my, why I stopped watching Without a Crystal Ball. I just reacted to that. If you're interested, go check it out. I posted a reaction 1 year later. It was actually pretty fun to look back at that video and see, were my opinions the same? Did they change? And it was also kind of cool to see how I talk to a camera so much more comfortably now than I did back then. But we all grow and change and better ourselves with time. Once I posted that video, I went down a rabbit hole of Without a Crystal Ball content, people talking about her. Then I discovered the anti-Without a Crystal Ball community, people who had previously subscribed to her, been a member of her channel, followed her on other social media, stopped, and then they considered themselves part of the anti-Without a Crystal Ball community. And some of those people were subscribers and some were actual creators making videos. As far as my experience watching a lot of the anti-communities on YouTube, I have seen some of the meanest, darkest, most hateful things that I could ever imagine happening on the internet. And I want to talk about this because I don't ever want to blanket statement all anti-communities are toxic and vile and you should stay away. Because I do believe that anti-communities serve a role on social media. It is a place that people can go to and relate to other people that were also negatively affected by either a public figure, a company, a business structure like MLM. So I don't want to blanket statement that and say that everyone's, vile and mean. That would be mindless. For some reason, when you look inside a lot of these communities, you have people sometimes that I feel are overly passionate about not liking whatever the topic is. And when you have people that are overly passionate about not liking someone, it can create a lot of strong language, really negative mental health effects for a lot of people that get deeply involved in these anti-communities. And while I think that they serve a purpose, it can also deter other people from wanting to consume that type of content or engage with certain content creators because they are so vile and mean. As far as the content creators go and a lot of the infighting that I've seen, I usually tie it back to competition, competing with one another to see whose video can get the most views, who is going to gain the most subscribers in X number of days or weeks by creating this type of anti-content. And what happens when you have content creators that are jealous of one another, it can create this hostile, really, really negative channel. And I've seen that a few times. I'm not going to say, again, that everyone's that way. But I believe that when someone creates a channel this way and allows this really hateful content to be published on their channel, or they allow really, really bad things to be said in comment sections, it can really just give the anti-community a really bad look. And I always say, I'm not the content cops. I'm not here to patrol anyone's channel, even if other people think that I am. I'm not, because I don't care. If you want to risk your credibility and your demeanor that you have put out to your subscribers, if you want to risk that by turning into a toxic, hateful person, then that's your journey. But the problem is that many times it has really negative side effects on the subscribers and the people that are consuming your content. That can also include other content creators. I've always said my kind of answer to feeling like you are consuming really negative content, and if it starts to affect your mental health, or you just feel like you're too far into the rabbit hole as far as being in one of these anti-communities, just pull the plug. I realized that at first, because at first for me, I was entertained by all this Katie Joy commentary stuff. At this point, I don't care for it very much. Once in a while, I'll check out a video about, commentary stuff about her, but it is very limited, and that's not to throw shade at anyone who still consumes it every day. I'm just telling you guys of what has worked for me, because at one point in time, I did feel like I was too far into the rabbit hole, and this was even before all of these people started going at each other. So I'm sure that if I felt that way, then at least a few people feel that way now. And there are so many channels that have popped up, especially to talk about Katie. It just sort of makes me wonder how many people can say the same things about Katie and react to the same clips, and the subscribers take anything positive away from that video. And maybe the person making the video doesn't care about that. And, that's why I'm saying I'm not a gatekeeper. That's your journey. You do you, whatever works for you. But a lot of times, I know that I've talked about parasocial relationships on my channel quite a few times. And I have built what I would consider friendships with some of my subscribers. They are not inappropriate and they do not cross any lines, but there are subscribers that I talk to in DMs. They check on me, I check on them. It's very cordial, and that's fantastic. But knowing that there are such awesome people out there consuming content on a daily basis, that's why I have really tried to maintain control of what I'm putting out and making sure that it's never hitting below the belt, talking about things that are just not up for commentary, in my personal opinion. Because I always try to think of the person that's on the other side of the camera and how is this video going to affect them. That's why I always encourage people to, unplug. It's okay to walk away from certain channels, even if it's for just a couple of days. If you feel like you need to clear your mind before you can make a decision on whether or not you want to continue consuming this content or not, that's a great way to go about it. Or maybe you realize that you've had enough and you're ready to walk away, then walk away. And I always tell people to seek content that makes you feel good. Seek content from creators that you feel like you are utilizing your social media currency in a good manner. And the videos don't always have to be super chipper and cheery, because I know that a lot of my videos aren't chipper and cheery. If it's opening up a dialogue about a sensitive topic, that's cool too. But unfortunately, I have seen a lot of just really tragic content be made within a lot of these anti-communities. And I am not talking about just Without a Crystal Ball. I'm talking about a lot of commentary channels. And it's almost like hate is their supply. Like they have to be ingesting or expelling hate in order to feel good about themselves. They have to be talking negatively about people and making personal attacks and doing way too many videos talking about the same thing. They have to do that in order to feel good about themselves. And that's a pretty sad way to go through your YouTube journey, if you ask me. So as I always say, not a gatekeeper, not a content cop, but these are things that I see, and I also see how it can affect subscribers. And is the content creator always responsible for what the subscriber, their feelings might be? No, not all the time. But if you are constantly dishing out this hostile, gross content, maybe take a step back and try to think, okay, what's the person on the other side of the camera thinking when they come to my channel and every single day I am making deep personal attacks against this person or this movement or this business? What is that other person thinking when I'm just sitting here yelling at the camera, using profanities, hostile and irate, making personal attacks? And don't even get me started on people in the comments section where creators will literally attack subscribers for having an opposing viewpoint. It's always very funny to me how the people who constantly accuse you of deleting comments are actually the ones that are constantly deleting comments. And I also do realize that the same philosophy could apply to this, where I've talked before about a subscriber could say something really vile and cruel and get blocked from someone's channel. Then they leave another comment, that comment doesn't show up, and they want to say, oh, see, this person can't even take criticism. But it's actually because 3 weeks ago they told me to, burn in hell or something like that. So I understand that could happen too. But if I was going to say one thing, it would be that I always say YouTube can be a really, really cool platform. And I feel like I have some of the best subscribers that I could have ever asked for. I would just like to see creators maybe kind of staying in their own lane and keeping themselves, held accountable for making really cruel and hateful content. I'm all about anti-communities and commentary and even throwing a little shade, whenever. But some of the stuff that I've been seeing lately is just, it makes my stomach turn, if I'm being quite honest. So either way, that's going to be it for today. Always use your social media currency in a positive way. Like I said, if it's on a channel that's discussing really serious topics and maybe even being a little shady, that's one thing. But if you feel like your social media currency is going to someone who is vile, hateful, and cruel, then it might be something that you want to take a second look at. So for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.